It's me. Okay, I just finished watching Picard Imposters, and I was able to take notes this time. All right. So Jack going back and forth with like his dreams and stuff like that. I kind of kept going like first, okay, it's a dream. I got it. The first time is a dream and stuff like that. But then after that, like when he was talking to the transporter dude, I was like, wait, is that real or not real? Um, so that was like, don't play that out so much that I'm gonna kind of get to a point. And I get maybe they're trying to do that so that like when he actually does do something like he did at the end, that I'm like, holy shit. I get it, but whatever. Um, I loved the Shaw love-hate relationship. It still happens to be like, I know that this is Picard's show, but like new character in Shaw that I'm really enjoying, like the reverence of, I relieve you of command. He's like, I'm gonna step out so you all can get your bullshit story straight. Like, I like that, we aren't fully making him like, let's go on team and stuff like that. Like, we are getting to a point where it is, he's still maintaining his ridiculousness. Like, I just love Shaw so much as a character in there, and the actor's so great. Ro Lauren! I was, like, shocked. I had to, like, remind myself about her, like, she was Bajoran, and then she joined the Maquis and all that other good stuff. I forgot about that. I remember, I wasn't super into her story. I get it, but, like, I wasn't super into her story and stuff, but did a really nice job in this episode of, like, you can't trust her, and then they go into 10 forward, and then, like, they have that wonderful little catharsis scene where he's like, you broke my heart, and she's like, you broke mine, and, Picard's like, that kind of honesty, tells each other that we're legit, and then her finally telling the whole story is great, and then at the very, her making the sacrifice, going into the port nacelle of the Intrepid. We're gonna talk about that in a minute because I had some thoughts on that one. And then obviously at the end when she gives the earring, and then Riker, as always, knows that it means more, like it's old spycraft and it's data, and like I was like, oh, well done, Ro Lauren. Like, we did a nice job of wrapping up the storyline. I have additional thoughts around that, but I'll get into it in a little bit. This changeling blood tests evolution thing is wonderful and terrifying at the same time. I forgot how much I missed the whole changeling insecurity that happens. Like, it's a storyline where it's like, we can't trust anybody because anybody could be a changeling and we wouldn't even know. And like now we're steering into that even more than we were before. Because shit. You know what I mean? I just loved that so much, that we're just steering so hard into the changeling insecurity now. Especially with it going up the chain of command and stuff like that. It's just, I like the whole don't trust Starfleet thing, because I already have like I have an underlying don't trust the military and government, I don't want to call it, what's the good word I want to, like, it's not conspiracy theory, I just don't trust it, you know what I mean? Like, I have a very antagonistic perspective on it. As I said earlier, Jack losing his mind, I get it, but in the same token, I was like, okay, can we have a little bit less of him losing his mind, a little bit more like what is making him lose his mind? I get it. We're draining it out a little bit more, and I didn't like it. Oh, Worf! I'm so glad that Worf is back in the season. Mind you, I'm not like Rafi. Worf is like that. And then Worf going into, we're the alphas and stuff like that. And, like, you can totally see the difference between them, that, Rafi's the one who's like, let's shoot a gun. And Worf is like, I'm the one who's going to wait until the ecosystem changes stuff. Like, Worf is definitely taking, like, the grown-up version of this very well. Let me get back to one of my notes later on. The actor who played Kryn, I actually do like this actor in many, like, he's been in a million other things with that raspy voice of his and stuff like that. I enjoy that they made a Vulcan and a Ferengi best friends, because it makes no sense whatsoever. but like the thought of like, they grew up in, the ghetto together or whatever, and it made them family. Like I wish you could explore more stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I like the unlikely duos, unlikely pairing of stuff like that. So I thought that was a nice little touch to go ahead, because it makes no logical sense for a Vulcan to be friends with a Ferengi, to call them their brothers. Like that's just none. But it was fantastic. I like that little stuff to it. When they had the whole Worf death scene, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me with this shit. Like Worf's. So here's the deal. In the beginning of it, Worf sold the shit out of it. Where he was like, it's been an honor. Rafaela, House of Monica, or whatever her name is. He sold the shit out of that. Now, once they had the dying scene and stuff, he's like, this is a worthy death. And I was like, you better no fucking way. This is not the way that Worf dies. It needs to be much louder than this. I wrote, Worf death, no way. And then later on I wrote, I knew it! I like how, we always bring up Kalis, and Kalis slowing your breathing and heartbreak and stuff like that. But I was like, I do like how he still had a moment where he was like, I lost a lot of blood, so can we get it going now? You know what I mean? I liked that. Again, I go back to the whole we can't trust Starfleet across the board thing. One question I had is, like I said, once we knew that she went into the port nacelle and stuff, we moved some of Picard's, like some of the Titan's staff or whatever crew over to the Intrepid, assuming that a good majority of them are part of the crew, good guys, stuff like that. How on God's earth are we, like, sure, now the entire Intrepid ship is bad. Let's go ahead and, like, plow into it and not worry about what we just did. You know what I mean? Or, let's get against the Intrepid. I don't know. As much as I'm like, cool, I got that. We made it a point of calling out in the episode that most of the crew is on the Intrepid right now, so don't worry about it. So that's where I got a little messed up, where it's like, the Intrepid's bad. Like, not all of the Intrepid's bad. Like, we still have good crewmen there, and we're just, again, more my distrust for, like, the military and their sweeping observations. Jack being badass out of nowhere was fantastic, and like he just did. So it reminded me of like the Neo scene at the end when he finally realizes that he is the one, and he just like goes through everybody without like barely even thinking twice and stuff like that. Very cool, badass scene. I liked that, hand to hand, but like over quickly. I didn't even really like in my head. Of course, they were 4 changelings. You know what I mean? I didn't even put it in my mind that maybe they weren't. Now, we didn't see them. Only when Beverly asks later, she's like, how did you know they were changelings? I was like, oh, fuck. We never actually saw them be changelings. We just saw them before people that showed up to take Jack back. Like, we didn't know. So I thought that was, like, an interesting take. And then all of a sudden, he's like, I didn't think something's very wrong. Again, I talk about face acting. Beverly's chin did the acting. Like, you could see her trying to hold back crying in, like, her chin real hard. That was so great. The part I liked about this as well, so, when, again, I think Frakes is like, I'm going to go ahead and have the best lines in these episodes. When Shaw's like, who's coming after us? And then, Frakes takes a beat, and he's like, everyone. And then, like, they have a moment of silence right after say, like, beautifully done. Nice little bit of writing we did right there. Worf having a conversation with Picard and Riker made me so happy. Like, I want all of them to, like, get on the same page, or at least talk to each other. Like, can we do a Zoom call between y'all or something? Like, it made me so happy to have them, and like old friend, and like you could see that the happiness that they all had when they were talking to each other was just so great. I enjoyed it so much. All of that to say, the more these episodes wear on, like making peace with Roland, like seeing Worf, I'm pretty convinced that Picard is dying at the end of the season. Pretty convinced, because this is like a putting right all of the things in Picard's past. I definitely think that like this is making peace with absolutely everything, and I'm pretty sure Picard's dying at the end of the season. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this episode. I'm interested to hear yours. Um, I liked it. It didn't have as much. I mean, like it had stakes. Don't get me wrong. I think the only part that like the Laren thing, I get it. We wanted to make peace with that whole thing that happened, but I never really cared so much about that like entire storyline that they had going on. I just didn't. Um, so I think that like it lost some of the momentum to me because of that story. But I get why the why that part was needed. Because that was an arc that was important in Next Generation. Um, but yeah, I like the episode a lot. I like that we're moving forward. I hope that we are actually gaining momentum as to what the fuck is wrong with Jack, and we actually start learning things. Um, there's a piece of tech or something that we have to get, and like Kryn is giving it to them or something to get in the days. Ah, I imagine that whatever they're trying to get was the thing that helped the changelings change their biochemistry, but I don't know. Who knows what we're going to be doing here? I really want to know when Geordi is going to show up. I really want to know when the others are going, like, bring them already, goddammit. So, and honestly, this sounds so ridiculous. I honestly am like, okay, we're doing a lot of stuff that was Deep Space Nine. Can we please bring in Cisco? Please, Cisco's still alive. Let's bring him into the equation. Come on. Anyway, so tell me what you thought. All right, bye.